Hey everybody, welcome back to Yogi Plant. Tonight we have an all-around vinyasa flow with a focus on our sides and, in relation to our sides, our core. So we're going to get started. I invite you to grab a yoga block if you have one. And we're going to start in Savasana, which is cross-legged pose. Some people like to call it easy pose. So you can take the Sukhasana that you are most comfortable in. You could also do half lotus. So we're going to start by coming into our breath here. And doing some breathing through our nose. Pausing at the top of our inhale. And then pausing again at the bottom of our exhale. So I invite you to take a few moments here to find that yoga breath. Bring your awareness to this moment on your mat. And maybe at the bottom of your exhales, just drawing that lower abdominal area in a little bit. And as we continue through our yoga breath, I invite you to sit up tall, dropping your shoulder blades down your back, broadening your collarbone, your chest area. And that action of drawing in that lower abdominal area, that's your Uddiyana Bandha, it's your Bandha lock. Maybe drawing up that pelvic floor, AKA doing a Kegel. It's locking in and then drawing up. And just bringing your chin in, kind of like you're making a double chin in towards your chest or your lower neck. Then maybe just lowering your head a little further, bringing your chin towards your chest. Breathing into the back of your neck there. Letting those shoulders, feeling your shoulders physically drop down lower. If your hands are on your thighs, maybe just dropping your hands down the back of your thighs. They might be touching your mat. And on your next inhale, looking all the way up to the ceiling. Sitting up tall. Exhaling, looking to center. And on your next exhale, just dropping your right ear towards your right shoulder. Breathing into that long side of your left-hand side of your neck. If it feels okay, you can take your hand, just gently put it on your head. Maybe bringing a little extra weight. Inhaling, coming to center. And on an exhale, dropping our left ear to our left shoulder. And if it feels okay, taking your left hand and putting it on your head. Add a little bit of weight on that side. And then releasing your hand, inhaling, coming to center. We're going to just do a few shoulder circles here to get our shoulders moving. So you can start in whatever direction you prefer. Hands could be on your thighs or resting still down close to your mat. So we're going to change directions. Get moving here. And then we'll come to center. That feels better already. We're going to do a twist here. So we're going to inhale, engaging our navel area. And take our left hand, put it on our right knee. Right hand just comes behind us for balance. And as we exhale, we're going to twist through our navel to the right. Sitting up tall. Continuing to breathe. And on an exhale, we'll come to center. Same thing on the other side. We're going to inhale, engaging that navel. Right hand to the left knee, left hand behind us. Exhaling, we're going to twist through that navel to our left. Continuing to breathe. And on your next exhale, coming to center. We're going to inhale our hands up to prayer. And then we're going to take our right hand and just grab our left wrist. And as we exhale, we're going to reach our left hand towards the right hand side. Maintaining that balance through our sit bones. Breathing up along the left hand side. And your gaze could be forward or at the ceiling. We're going to inhale, coming to center. Finding that prayer again. Then we're going to take our left hand and grab our right wrist. And as we exhale, we're going to reach our right hand to the left side. Breathing up along our right hand side. And taking your gaze up towards the ceiling if that feels okay. Inhaling, coming to center once again in prayer. And as we exhale, we'll let our arms drop down to our sides. We're going to take our block, if you have a block, and strategically place it at the top of our mat. And then we're going to come on up onto our knees. We're going to move into a standing gait now. So we're going to take our right leg and stick it out to the right hand side. Right hand is moving along the thigh. We're going to inhale our left hand up, palm facing the right. And as we exhale, we're going to reach our left hand towards the right. You'll find your hand moves along your leg. That definitely helps with some balance. You can also play a little bit by sticking your right arm behind your back. Maintaining your balance with your core. Looking up to the ceiling there, if that's okay with you. And on an exhale, we'll bring our left arm down. We're going to move into a grounded plank. So we're going to take our left hand now and place it on our mat, fingers pointing towards the top of our mat. We're going to inhale our right hand up. Lifting up through our body towards the ceiling. And if it feels good for you, our drishti, our gaze is at the ceiling as well. One more breath here. And on the inhale, we'll bring ourselves up. Let's do the other side. We're going to stick our left leg out now. Left hand moves along the thigh. Inhaling our right hand up. And as we exhale, we're going to reach towards the left. Once again, you can slide down your leg with your arm, or you can wrap that back arm behind your body. Maintaining that nice yoga breath through your nose here, finding strength through your core. At the same time, reaching with that hand towards your left hand side. Inhale, coming up. We're going to take our right hand and put it down on the mat. And we're going to inhale our left hand up, palm facing the right. Coming into grounded plank on the other side. Being sure to push through that left foot there. Engaging that left leg. Inhaling, coming on up. And we'll come back to our knees. So I'm going to turn sideways now. And we're going to come to all fours here. So we're going to move to tabletop. So once again, this is a very engaged pose. Your fingers are spread. You're pushing slightly through the tops of your feet into the mat. You're bringing up that navel, engaging your abdominal area. We're going to move into a sun dog, or some people like to call it bird dog. We're going to inhale our right hand up, left hand comes out. Your foot can be touching the floor. And if it feels okay, lifting that left foot up. Continuing to breathe here. Drishti straight ahead. Nice strong core. One more breath. And we'll exhale it down. Same thing on the other side. We're going to inhale that left arm up. Right foot goes out. Inhaling your right foot up. If that works for you tonight. Once again, engaging that core. Focusing on that spot on the wall. And we're going to exhale down. Good job, everybody. Then we're going to move into cat-cow. So we're going to inhale our forehead to the ceiling, bringing our tailbone up as well. Coming into cow. And then we're going to exhale, moving through our shoulders, curving our spine the other way. So our tailbone and our forehead are facing the mat. And we're just going to repeat the cycle here, inhaling into cow. And exhaling into cat. Really drawing in those abdominal muscles. And then letting them go in cow. You'll have to forgive me, I'm still a little bit congested here, so I'll try really hard not to sniff too much. One more round here. Following that breath. And then we're all going to meet in center here in tabletop for a breath. And as you exhale, we'll flip our toes, raising our bum towards the ceiling in our first downward dog. Your gaze looking up towards your navel. You might want to do a little bit of running here, bending those knees, maybe going side to side, getting your body warmed up, pushing through your hands here, the top part of your palm. Turning those elbow pits out towards the top of your mat. One more breath here. On exhale, we'll bend our knees. Inhaling, big step forward to the top of the mat. Exhaling down in forward fold. Bending those knees, keeping that core engaged. Inhaling up halfway, hands to the knees or the shins. Exhaling back down into Uttanasana or forward fold. And then inhaling all the way up into salute. Hands reaching towards the ceiling. Exhaling down. Prayer, Samastiti. And then coming into Tadasana or mountain pose. So you want to have a nice strong Tadasana here. Grounding through your feet or your Pada Bandha. Reaching down and pulling up. Engaging those kneecaps, engaging your legs, drawing in that lower abdominal area, letting those shoulders drop down your back, feeling that string, pulling you up a little taller. We'll inhale into salute, reaching towards the ceiling, maybe doing a little bit of a back bend, exhaling all the way down, forward fold, inhaling up halfway, into Ardha Uttanasana, making sure those shoulders drop down your back. Exhaling, hands down. We're going to take a step back with our right foot, coming into a low lunge. So your left knee is above your left ankle. We're going to drop that back knee down. Scooch out your left foot if you need to. We're going to inhale, hands to waist. And on our next inhale, we're going to inhale, arms up into a low crescent lunge. Exhaling, hands come back down. We're going to lift that back knee back up. Take our left foot and put it back to the right. So that we're in a plank. And here I invite you to just drop your knees here for a moment. So we're coming down to a knee plank. And on an inhale, we're going to come up into side plank. So we're going to turn, we're going to our right, raising our right hand up. Lifting our core up towards the ceiling. Holding for a breath here. Exhaling our right hand down. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to turn now to our left, inhaling our left arm up. Reaching that arm, reaching your fingers up towards the ceiling. Keeping your hips straight, and then exhaling your hand back down. And we're going to lower down here, drishti forehead, facing. Oh, I'm losing my voice here. Exhaling, lowering down through your chaturanga dandasana, forehead to the mat. Inhaling into baby cobra. Being sure to lift through your chest and your tummy. You should be able to take your hands off the mat. Exhaling back down. We're going to inhale up to tabletop. And then we're going to move into dolphin from here. So you're going to take your elbows, put them where your hands were. So you look like this. We're going to inhale, pushing into our forearms. And as we exhale, we're going to flip our feet and bring our bum to the sky. Coming into dolphin, pushing through those forearms into the mat, raising our tailbone up to the ceiling. Drishti, once again, your gaze is up towards your belly button. Maybe trying to lower those heels down a little bit. And on an exhale, we're going to drop down to our knees again, coming into tabletop, taking a breath here. And on our next exhale, we're going to flip our toes, coming into downward dog. Holding just for a couple breaths here. Pushing through our hands, that fleshy part underneath your thumb. Raising that tailbone up towards the ceiling. On an exhale, we'll bend our knees. Inhaling, bringing both feet up to the front of the mat. Exhaling down, forward fold. Being sure you can touch the mat with your hands. Inhaling up halfway. Exhaling back down, hands to the mat. And then inhaling all the way up. Nice big salute, a little bit of a back bend, exhaling down, Samastiti, and then down to Tadasana. Good job, everybody. All right, we're gonna do one more here. We're gonna inhale our hands up, into salute, exhaling down, forward fold, inhaling up halfway, gaze to the front of the room or the front of your mat. Exhaling your hands back down. This time we step back with our left foot, coming into a low lunge with our right knee over top of our right ankle. Some people put their foot flat. Some people like to prop their foot up for a little extra support. Inhaling our hands to your waist. And then inhaling your hands all the way up, either coming together or opening up towards the ceiling. Crescent lunge other side. Exhaling our hands back down. We're going to lift that back knee up. We're going to take our right foot and bring it back to meet our left. So at this point, there's the option to come into a full plank, or you can drop your knees like we did prior. We're going to move into side plank here. So we're going to turn to our right, lifting our right hand up towards the ceiling. Just for a couple breaths here. Exhaling our right hand down. And then same thing on the other side. We're going to turn to our left now, raising our left hand up to the ceiling. Lifting those hips up towards the ceiling as well. Exhaling your left hand back down. Inhaling here for a breath. And then as we exhale, we're going to lower down through Chaturanga Dandasana, down to our mat. Inhaling into Baby Cobra. Once again, you can lift those hands off the mat. Exhaling back down. Inhaling up to tabletop. We're going to do another dolphin pose here. So we take our elbows and put them where our hands were. Once again, pushing into our forearms here. We're going to tuck our toes, and as we exhale, we're going to lift our tailbone to the ceiling. So continuing to breathe here. Finding that yoga breath. Maybe letting those heels drop down a little more. Bring your drishti up towards your thighs. On an exhale, we'll come back down to our knees. Continuing to breathe here as we come into tabletop. And on your next exhale, we're going to flip our toes and raise our bumps to the sky and downward dog. So your heels should not be peeking out behind your feet. Drishti once again at your belly button. And on an exhale, we're going to bend our knees. Inhaling, big step forward. Both feet coming to the top of the mat. Exhaling down, forward fold. Inhaling up halfway into Ardha Uttanasana. Really taking a moment here to give this pose some love. Continuing to breathe as you drop your elbows or your shoulders down your back. Exhaling your hands back down to the mat, forward fold. And then a big inhale coming all the way up into salute. A little bit of back bend. Exhaling down. Hands into prayer. And then down to Tadasana. Whew. We're going to take a moment here to find our breath in Tadasana. And we've been working pretty hard so far. Finding that yoga breath. On an exhale, we're going to take the right foot and take a big step back. So you want to open up that back foot so that it's not quite 90 degrees, but fairly close. And then your pelvis is going to be open towards the long side of the mat. We're going to inhale our arms into a T. And on an exhale, we're going to bend that left leg, coming into warrior two. Just going to take a peek at that back hand there to make sure that it's somewhat in line with the front. Drawing in that lower abdominal area. Drishti over top of that front hand. And on your next exhale, we're going to take our right hand, drop it on our back thigh there. We're going to flip the front hand up, and we're going to inhale it into the air, keeping that front leg bent. Coming into reverse warrior. And on your next exhale, we're going to drop our right elbow onto our front leg. We're going to swoop that right hand down and up. And if you like, you can grab that block if you have a block handy. And you could take, there's the option to place your left hand on a block and then swoop your arm. Your drishti could definitely be straight ahead here, or glancing up towards the ceiling. Nice strong balance between your front and your back foot. Continually reaching that right hand forward. Exhaling, we're going to swoop our arm down. Inhaling, coming up. We're going to pivot our feet so that our feet are parallel with the front and the back. As you see, you can see I have my block here. We're going to strategically put it on that side now. Okay, we're going to inhale our arms up. And as we're going to exhale our hands to our hips, we're going to hinge at the hips, coming into a forward fold, but we're not going to put our hands on the floor. So you're using your core here to fold forward. You got a little micro bend in your knees. And your weight is shifting a little bit towards the front of your feet. Your gaze is behind you. And on an inhale, we'll come up halfway. Exhaling here. And on our next inhale, we're going to use our core to raise ourselves up. Exhaling our hands down. All right, now we're going to pivot our feet so that our right foot's facing the back of our mat, toes facing the back. Back foot is open, almost 90 degrees. Got our pelvis facing the long side of the mat. We're going to inhale our arms up. I'm going to just lengthen my stance here a little bit. And then as we exhale, we're going to bend the right knee over top of our right ankle. It's always okay to lengthen your stance if you feel you need to. Take a peek and just make sure that you can see that inside of your foot there, your right foot. Helping your knee to find alignment there. Letting those shoulders drop down your back. And drawing in your navel. Nice strong warrior two. On an exhale, we're going to take our left hand now, drop it down our thigh. We're going to flip our right hand up, right palm up, and we're going to inhale it into the sky. Maintaining that bend in that right leg there. And of course, continuing to breathe. On an exhale, we'll take our right elbow on our right knee. We're going to swoop our left hand up, down, and up. And if you have your block handy, you can grab it, and maybe bring your right hand down to the block. Reaching now with your left hand towards the right-hand side of the room. Keeping that balance of weight between both feet here. And if it feels okay, looking up towards the ceiling. Actively reaching. And on the exhale, we'll swoop back down. Inhaling, coming up. And just put your block down here. So once again, your feet are parallel with the front and the back of your mat. We're going to inhale our arms up. Coming into star. Nice strong core here. Reaching out to all the corners of your room. Nice strong legs. Feeling that feeling of victorious. And on an exhale, we're going to hinge at the waist, taking our hands and reaching for our big toes. We're going to inhale, looking up. And as we exhale, we'll bend our elbows, micro bend our knees, coming into a wide-legged forward fold. Once again, shifting that weight to the top parts of your feet, like the front of your feet. Your gaze behind you. One more breath here. And on an inhale, we'll bring our hands to our hips, coming up halfway. Exhaling here. And then we're going to inhale all the way up. Exhaling, shifting our feet together. Great, so I'm going to face this way. I invite you to do the same if that works for you. We're going to come into our standing pose. So this is the last night we'll be doing dancer. Next class we'll take on a different standing pose. So I invite you to give it all you got. So we're standing with our feet about hip distance apart. We're looking ahead. We're engaging our core. I take our right foot and step back just a little bit here. Pushing that weight into our left foot. You could have your hands on your hips. We're going to inhale that back foot, your right foot, into your right hand. We're going to push your right foot into your right hand. And then if you like, you can lift your left hand into the air and lean forward. Now your standing leg can have a little bit of a bend in your knee. Sometimes it's nice to see exactly how far you can go in this pose before you fall out. One more breath here. And I invite you to come out. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So once again, our feet are hip distance apart. We're engaging that core. We're going to take a step back with our left foot this time. Transferring our weight to the right foot. We're going to inhale our left foot up into our left hand. Maybe giving our standing leg a little micro bend. Inhaling that right hand into the air. Palm facing towards us. And once again, finding your form, going as far as you'd like to go tonight. Maybe pushing a little further over that back leg. Finding that drishti. One more breath here. And then we'll exhale and release. Great job, you guys. Okay, I'm going to join you guys at the back of the mat. We're facing the front of our mat. We're going to inhale our arms up. Nice big salute, reach for the ceiling here. Exhaling our hands down. We're in a caterpillar into plank. Coming into plank here, I'm just going to take a moment, pushing our heels back. gaze forward, drawing that abdominal region in, drawing in our navel. And on our next exhale, we're going to lower all the way down. And on an inhale, we're going to come into baby cobra. And if you'd like to come into full cobra, you can put some pressure into your hands, bringing yourself up a little higher. Allowing those shoulders to drop down your back, gazing up at the ceiling. Exhaling back down. We're going to inhale up through tabletop and exhale into child's pose. So your thighs are open, allowing your tummy to settle in between them. Head is touching the mat, if that feels okay. If not, you can always use a prop like a block. You could try pushing into your fingertips here to give yourself a little extra stretch through the shoulders. Or maybe just drawing your hands alongside of your thighs. One more breath here. And as we inhale, we're going to raise ourselves up into sitting. We're going to grab our block and come into staff pose. I'm going to face you guys here tonight. So here we are in staff pose. I am sitting on my block. Just raising my hips a little higher here. I welcome you to do the same. Allowing your hands just to drop down gently to the sides of your legs, pointing your toes towards your forehead. And drawing in your navel. Couple more breaths here. And on your next inhale, I invite you to bring your feet together. We're going to come into a butterfly pose. So you're going to open your feet up like a book, bringing them in towards your pelvic area. Inhaling, sitting up straight. We'll hold this for a couple of breaths, allowing your knees to drop down on either side. And on your next exhale, we'll bring our feet together with our hands and gently fold forward. Continuing that yoga breath. Elbows are just resting gently on your legs. No forcing of anything here. And on an inhale, we'll come on up. And as we exhale, we're going to take our right leg and just put it out in front of us, keeping that left leg bent. So your right toes are engaged and they're facing your forehead. Left foot is tucked inside your inner thigh. We're going to inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to take our hands and just slide them along the mat towards our foot. So you could be grabbing your shins here, your ankle or your foot, inhaling, looking up, and then exhale, folding forward. You might also have a hold of your toes. Just be sure your hands are parallel with each other. And your gaze is towards your toes or your ankles. One more breath here. Inhaling, coming up. We're going to keep that right foot out. We're going to take our left foot and we're just going to put it on the outside of our right knee. Taking our left hand behind us, we're going to raise our right hand into the air. You have the option to grab your knee here like this, or if you want, you can exhale your elbow down to the outside of your knee. And as you exhale, twisting through your navel to the left. As you're inhaling, sitting up a little straighter, and as you exhale, maybe twisting a little further. In Vinyasa seat. And on your next inhale, we're going to face forward, exhaling our left foot out to meet our right. Back into step. And take our right foot now, bring it on the inside of our left leg. We're going to inhale, sitting up. And as we exhale, we're going to slide our hands along the mat and grab wherever we end up. Inhaling, looking up. Exhaling, folding forward. And head to knee pose. Continuing to breathe here. Sometimes it's nice to inhale, come out a little bit, and then exhale forward, fold forward a little further. One more breath. Then we're going to inhale, coming up. We're going to take our right foot now, just put it on the outside of our left knee. Right hand comes behind us. We're going to inhale. Once again, you could be grabbing your knee here. We're going to inhale, or you have the option to inhale, raising your left hand to the air. And as you exhale, taking your elbow, pushing it on the outside of your knee, exhaling, then twisting towards our right. Once again, sitting up tall as you inhale. And maybe as you exhale, twisting a little further. And on your next exhale, we'll come to center. Releasing your feet together. And we're going to come off our blocks. All right. So we're going to come down to our backs. And we're going to do a pose called fish pose. So I invite you to watch me first because it's one of those poses where you don't really want to, or you definitely don't want to turn your neck. So we're on our backs, our hands are facing palm down on the mat underneath our bums. And our feet are straight out. Our legs are straight out. So if you're watching me, which I hope you are, as you inhale, you're going to raise your chest up towards the ceiling, opening up your collarbone, resting on your elbows, and bringing the crown of your head to the mat. All right, and then we'll come down. So please don't look at me. Keep that forehead pointing at the ceiling. We're going to do it all together now. So your palms are underneath your bum. And your legs are straight. And as you inhale, you're going to raise your chest up, resting on your elbows. Lifting your chest towards the ceiling. One more breath. And as we exhale, we'll come down. Taking our hands out from underneath of our bums. And then we're going to inhale our knees to our chest to give ourselves a little hug. Letting those shoulders relax down to our mat. One more breath. We're going to move into happy baby here. So you're going to keep your knees bent towards your chest. You're going to take your hands and put them through the inside of your thighs and reach for your feet. So you're either grabbing your toes or your ankles or the outsides of your feet. And on an inhale, you're going to raise your soles up towards the ceiling, keeping your knees bent. Coming into happy baby, feel free to rock here. You might find yourself smiling, or maybe not. Maybe you're a serious baby. And on your next exhale, we're going to release our feet, bringing our legs straight. Once again, we're laying on our backs on our mat. We're going to do this really fun pose called Bananasana. So as we inhale, we're going to bring our hands above our head on the ground, and we're going to bring them into prayer. So we kind of look like a pencil. And then as we exhale, we're going to start to point our hands towards our right hand side. And then we're going to take our feet and walk them towards the right hand side. So you got it. You look like bananas. And once you find it feels good here for you, you're having a nice stretch, you can let your yoga breath go here. You could try to take your left foot and cross it on your right and see how that feels. We're just going to relax into this pose. Feeling that stretch all the way along our left-hand side. Maybe breathing into the left-hand side a little bit. A couple more breaths here. And as we're exhaling, we're going to start walking our feet back and our hands back to our pencil position. We're going to take an inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to point our hands to the left now and start walking our legs towards the left. One side might feel different than the other. It's perfectly normal. If you'd like, you can take your right foot and cross it over your left. Now breathing into that right side. Gently. few more breaths. And as we inhale, we're going to slowly move back to our pencil position. And we're just going to bring our arms down. You could put them out to a T, or you could put them into cactus. Whatever you're feeling works good for you tonight. We're going to inhale our knees up, feet on the mat. As we exhale, we're going to let our knees fall to the right, and we're going to turn our forehead to the left. Coming into a reclined twist. We're going to inhale our knees up, forehead facing the ceiling. And on an exhale, we'll let our knees fall to the left as we turn to the right. You can always prop your knees with a blanket or your block if you're feeling any discomfort. And on an inhale, we'll bring our knees up and our forehead facing the ceiling. If you like, you can give yourself one last hug here, reclined child's pose. Bringing your knees to your chest. And then when you're ready, I invite you to prepare for Savasana. So you can let your legs fall down to the mat. Maybe your palms are facing up. Your knees could also be bent. You take your Shavasana how it works for you tonight. And we're just going to allow our breath to fall into its natural rhythm. Letting our tongues move away from our teeth. Maybe noticing that space between your eyeballs and your eyelids. Maybe noting where your body is touching the floor in each point of contact. invite you to just gently note your breath. Notice the rise and fall of your chest. Wiggling your fingers and your toes. And taking whatever stretch you need to take tonight. Maybe raising your knees up. And then when you're ready, we'll turn to our sides, just resting our head for a moment on our arms. Finding gratitude tonight for whatever you want. Maybe naming one thing you're super grateful for. We're gonna slowly raise ourselves up to sitting. However you want to sit tonight. Namaste. Thank you for sharing your practice with me tonight.